You just used the S word. Is that what this is? Stagflation?
Stagflation means higher inflation than you want and lower growth, and clearly we have that. Years later in history books, they'll maybe mark it as, we hope, a short period, but my worry, and a deep worry for developing countries and for people in lower income levels, is that the stagflation may last for quite a while. They get hurt because the inflation hurts them and the slow growth hurts them at the same time.
In June, you downgraded your expectation for global GDP to 2.9% for this year. We've seen some pretty terrible data out of China. We've seen some developments with the energy crisis that's percolating in Europe. Are you lowering that still?
We'll make another forecast ahead, and the IMF will be doing forecasts on. So, but my worry is that things have gone worse from that already low forecast. China in the second quarter, it looks like, might have been -3% year over year. So a really difficult because of their shutdown. And as we look at Europe, they're trying to buy natural gas from around the world, but the producers aren't stepping up. So one of the challenges is, how do you refill their storage that was drained by Russia the previous year?
Okay, so here we are in Jackson Hole. What is the response mechanism from the Fed, from the ECB, with China flat on its back, with a world that's in stagflation at best, and you still see that inflationary impulse coming in strong?
It's not all on the Fed. It's got to be a range of policies. The Fed also does regulatory policy. It does policy as far as the choice of the composition of its assets. That's one of the topics that people will be discussing here, and that has a big impact on the supply side of the economy. And then the governments around the world, the advanced economies, are using a lot of the world's capital for their own needs, for government workers, and that makes it hard for the new supply that's needed. Again, the U.S. is the giant swing producer in the world, and you'd like to see those numbers, the output numbers for the U.S., expected output going up and up and up this year and next year.
Tom's freezing and can't speak, so I'll ask the question he wants to ask. Is ESG dead?
There are a lot of important issues as the world thinks about how to invest. One is profit, and then you want a world that's better. And so, how do you mix that? I think corporations have to look for their shareholders. ESG and environment, social, and development governance issues are really hard to tackle. World Bank is a leader in that, and for people in poor countries, it's really important. So we're going to continue doing ESG, but I think from a regulatory standpoint, regulators have to look at how do we get more production. For the poor in the world, the most important thing is to have electricity, have some way forward in terms of farm machinery so that you can plant next year's crop. And right now, that's not happening in a lot of the world.
That's been a big theme for Lisa all week. President Malpass, just wonderful to catch up. What a scene, hey?
Yeah,
you've got a good slot. Can I just say that you've got a good slot? The sun's up in Jackson Hole.
Has it gotten warmer?
There's a better view. It's getting gradually it's getting warmer.
I'm not sure.
It's getting warmer. I'm worried about Tom, who just can't speak anymore.
No, I just let you guys...
To have 5-minute gaps of Tom not speaking is kind of unsettling sometimes.
It is unsettling.
Can I squeeze one thing in with
You've got literally 40 seconds.
An incredibly important chart. Yen in gold. Okay, is there a new commodity cycle? Is that what they see at the World Bank?
So my observation is gold in dollar terms is not going up, so that's a comforting sign. We've got some currency weakness in the euro. You know, there used to be more talk about currency stability. I think the central banks can look forward and say, look, this is not hyperinflation. It's not getting out of control. We need a lot more production.